Hello there and welcome back in this lecture. Now in this lecture, we're going to go ahead and we're going to ask ChatGPT to basically design the logo for us. But there's one more thing I wanted to tell you about ChatGPT is that you can ask it any question. So for instance, let's say I chose the name and then basically I can paste in a name and I can say, and I want you to suggest 10 different topics to create YouTube shorts and videos about. And now it's going to proceed based on this particular choice. It's going to give us suggestions to create YouTube shorts and videos. So for instance, this is an example of a video we can create exploring Gandalf's origins, delve into Gandalf's background, including his origin as a Maya and his arrival in Middle-earth, Gandalf's greatest battles, the many names of Gandalf, Mithrandir, Tharkun, Gandalf's relationship with key characters, explore Gandalf's interactions and so on and so forth, behind the scenes, Gandalf's wisdom, the evolution of Gandalf, magical artifacts in Gandalf, Gandalf's journey through Middle-earth, Gandalf's impact on pop culture. So you can see ChatGPT is all encompassing. It can really create some tremendous topics that you can talk about. Now, the answer that you might get is a little different from what I might get because I'm using GPT-4, but in your case, you'll also get a decent answer if you're using GPT 3.5. Now, let's go ahead and let's ask ChatGPT at this particular point to create a logo. Now, because I'm activating GPT-4, I have DALL-E 3, so I can create a logo. So I'm going to say, create a logo for my YouTube channel. And because I'm using DALL-E 3, which is because it's GPT-4, I shall be able to do this, okay? All right, so ChatGPT right now is going to proceed to create an image. As you can see, it is using DALL-E 3. And while it's doing it, I would like to go and introduce you to Leonardo. So go to the website I've linked to in the resources of this lecture, Leonardo.ai, click on Launch App, create an account. Make sure that you don't show NSFW content because that might create NSFW content for you. But just create an account. And then when you're here, click on AI image generation. And when you click on AI image generation, you shall be ready to create logos. Now, Leonardo AI actually functions based on models. At this point, I'm using the photoreal model, which if I deactivate, I shall be able now to change the model. Now, you cannot change a model if you have photoreal activated. And by the way, I think photoreal is only a pro feature. But if you have it deactivated, you shall be able to use other models, such as Leonardo Diffusion XL, Stable Diffusion 2.1, Stable Diffusion 1.5, which, by the way, Leonardo AI was built on the Stable Diffusion model. And for those of you that don't understand what that means, if you want to generate images with Stable Diffusion, you have to access Automatic 1111 or Automatic 1111, which is pretty complex. So you'll have to be able to access directories and understand what's going on there, and it will take you time to set up the Automatic 1111 for you to be able to generate the images that you want to generate. And besides, it takes a lot of things, a lot of elements that you have to add and things that you have to consider before creating an image there. The process is very difficult if you want to do it that way. And so what Leonardo AI thought, okay, well, let's create a platform that is basically built on the model of Stable Diffusion 1.5 and 2.1. And let's allow people to generate images by simply choosing their model and adding just a simple prompt with text. Nothing easier than that, right? So let's take away the technical aspect and let's just enable them to create images by simply merely using text. And these models here, believe me, it's really difficult when you're using Automatic 1111 because you have to upload your own model. And when you upload your own model, you have to make sure it works and you have to add a lot of inputs so that it works. And it's really very difficult. So they made it very easy. You just come here, you select a model, you type in a prompt here, and you click generate, and it generates an image, kind of like these images that you're seeing over here. Now, if you have the free version, you will have access to 150 free tokens at the point. Actually, that might change. So in the future, it might be different. But at the moment, it is 150 free tokens, which enable you to create a lot of images. So unless you're using a model that's consuming a lot of tokens, for example, if you're using Stable Diffusion 2.1 or 1.5, for example, if I go for a number of images, if I reduce it down to 1, now that's 16. Let's perhaps select this model, 3D, animation. Now it's still 16 for some weird reason. It didn't lower the number of tokens, but different models consume different tokens. Okay, that's just what I want you to know, because different models will consume different tokens. Some models consume way less than others. At this point, I think because I'm using Alchemy, I'm consuming a lot. So if I activate Alchemy, as you can see now, I'm only consuming 4. And if I go to Stable Diffusion 2.1 and 1.5, you can generate 4 images with 4 tokens. So if you have 150 tokens, you can generate a lot of images. I'll bring Alchemy back because this is a pro feature and I have access to it. And besides, I have a lot of tokens and they get refreshed every 24 hours, I think. And so it's actually, and there is still way too much time for the membership to expire. So I'm just going to use all my credits. I'm going to be a rich person in this course. I'm just kidding. I'm just going to use up all the credits. So here is where you type in the prompt. And when you're using, for example, a model such as Leonardo Vision, Leonardo whatever, Absolute Reality, all models, you can click on add a negative prompt. What does a negative prompt means? Let's say, for example, that you're seeking to generate a male human-robot hybrid with blue eyes and sharp features, looking sideways, with a robot armor but human face, okay? Now, because I have Grammarly, that also enables the Grammarly extension enables me to modify my text as I go. Let's say that you don't want the robot to have green eyes. You want the robot to have any kind of eyes but the green eyes. Now here, because we have specified the color of eyes, I'm going to remove that, okay? So I'm going to assume that I don't know the color of the eyes. I want to leave it for Leonardo to generate the color that it seeks. But I don't want it to generate a green color eyes. So I'm going to come over here to the negative prompt. I'm just going to simply type in green color. If I do that, I can now click generate, in which case it will generate 4 images. Notice that I'm using the model Absolute Reality v.16. You also have to notice that here you have an option to select what you want the image to be like. So if you want it to be creative or dynamic or a photography, so you select the purpose of your image, and different models have different options. You can also add elements, which I'm not going to delve into. So I'm going to close that because that's not really important in this case, even though you might want to go and explore that. So I'm going to close elements right here, even though it's, by the way, it's really fun for you to go ahead and explore that by yourself. By the way, Leonardo by itself is a science. So if I want to make a course, it will take 5 hours for us to discuss all the Leonardo panel and how you can master it, because there's a lot of stuff that you can do with it. This is just how to use it so that you can use it for the course. So because we said that the robot can have any eye or any eye color besides the green color, we don't want it to have the green color. In this case, as you can see, it has generated robots, but they don't have green eyes. They have different eye colors, but not green eyes. You can add more. So let's say you don't want the robot to have hair. You can say hair. Now, if I click generate, now let me do it with a different model. So I can just choose, for example, Leonardo Vision XL. And let's just select, for example, that this is for a photography image. If we click generate, right now it's going to generate an image of a robot, except for the fact it's going to be bold and it's not going to have green eyes. So it's going to be hairless with no hair. And I mean this as no insult, by the way. It's just the way the terms are phrased. And it's going to have green color, no green color eyes. Okay. So let's just wait a second. All right, so as you can see, it has generated the image, except for it didn't take into consideration the hair. So maybe if we say hair, head hair, or what, head hair, or we could just say not bold, but let's not do it. Okay, so let's not do it. Let's just stay where we are. So now that you know how to generate images, if you want Leonardo's help with generating prompts that you want to use to generate images, you can just click prompt generation and you can come over here. Let's say you want to generate a logo for your brand. I want to say logo for the Lord of the Rings YouTube channel. If I click on ideate, I have 1,000 prompts remaining, which means I can ideate more, which is 999, actually 996, because I'm choosing 4 prompts at a time. So here, as you can see, it has given me some prompts. So if I click here, for example, it's going to proceed, and it's taken into consideration the green color as a negative prompt. So if I want to deactivate negative prompts, I can do it. And I can actually click generate again, okay? And on top of these images that were generated, we have other images that are generated, which is an amazing feature. Another thing I'd like to say that every model was trained on a specific size. So for example, Leonardo Diffusion was trained at a size 1024 by 768 pixels. So if you select a different size than that, which is, by the way, I think what we're doing here, you might have a different kind of image. So the image will not have as much quality as it should be. So always use the model, but use it in the ideal size, which is it was trained at. So for instance, if you want to know that, just go and open up another app, okay? And then at the home page, you can go to models. So I can come here to fine-tuned models. By the way, there is a lot more models. These are just the fine-tuned, which means these are the models that Leonardo AI, the company, they think those are the best. But if you want more models, go to community models, and there's a lot of models that there's no count. It's unlimited how many models there are. So I'm going to go here. And by the way, you can also make a model a favorite. For example, if you like a specific model, you could just click it and give it a like, almost like you're going to like something on Facebook. You can just follow it and it will become follow. Then you can go and find it in the list of follows. I'm just going to unfollow because I don't like this model here. So if you want to know the size at which a model is trained at, select that model. So for example, if it's Leonardo Diffusion, this model was trained at a size which is 1024 by 768. Now here, we're using Leonardo Diffusion, but we're not actually using it at the size at which it should be. We're using it at 768 by 512, which is not bad. But I can click here, 1024 by 768. And if I select any other different size, that would be problematic because it's not as much quality. Now, if I scroll down, notice these logos that were generated, which I think I'm going to go with one of them. In this case, it should be this. I think this could do extremely well on a logo for our brand. So I'm going to click, and because I have the luxury of having the pro version of Leonardo AI, I can actually use Alchemy Smooth Upscale, and then I could download this later. Right now, let's go back to ChatGPT, which I believe many of you don't have access to GPT-4. In this case, as you can see, it gave me an error. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to click Save and Submit again, so that ChatGPT can basically replug the message. And you can always do this. So whenever ChatGPT is generating an answer, if you didn't like the answer, you can just come back to that prompt, click here, edit, and then you can edit the prompt and you can click Save and Submit, and it will start from scratch. Now, what I want to do is I want to show you a bit of magic. We want to use the same prompt that we have used for Leonardo on Midjourney. Midjourney is a software that you can access, whether that be on the computer. If you go to Google, you type in Midjourney, you'll have access to the Midjourney website, which you can go to. By the way, I don't think they have an affiliate program, but I'm not sure. But let me just click on Midjourney so that we can go to Midjourney. So here we are on Midjourney. You can either join the beta or sign in if you have an account. If you join the beta, they will take you to the Discord online. So you will access Discord on the browser. In my case, I don't like the Discord of the browser. I don't like this Discord on browser because I have to wait a lot for me to be able to get my answer. And besides, if you have Midjourney, it's already paid. So you don't have to come here. What you can do, instead of coming here to these newbies rooms, which, by the way, I'm not making an insult, but this is what they're called. They're called newbies. And here I'm going to close because I don't want to see anything that I don't like. So because these people, they generate images and they can be images that are, let's just say, not really good to show. So if you have a Discord on your computer, it would be better. Install Discord on your computer, and by default, you shall have the Midjourney bot, or you should download or install the Midjourney bot, and you can communicate directly with it, and there is no one bothering you. So you're not in a wait list with 1,000 people. You can generate your images, and they're super fast. So now that we have this image, this is, I think, the upscaled version of it. Let me click. I'm going to download the upscaled version of this image, which I will intend to make my logo, unless I have a better image from Midjourney or from DALL3. Now let me click out to close this, and let's go and take this prompt. And what I want to do, I want to come back here to Midjourney, click slash, and this is how you prompt Midjourney. You click slash, and you click imagine, and then you type in the prompt, and then you hit enter. Now, while it's generating the answer, what I would like to do, I would like to click slash describe. And here, I would like to attach the file of the image that I have just downloaded using Leonardo. Because what I want to do is I want it to describe that image for me. And based on that description, I want to test it and see if it can be able to generate a better image than that which Leonardo generated. So if I type or if I hit enter now, Midjourney is going to describe that image for me. And I can use that description to generate the image. So you can click on any one of those descriptions. For instance, let's say that you like this description. The Lord of the Rings, glowing eye and flame, the style of rendered in the cinemas and whatever. And if I click here, now this is the image. Now, actually, okay, so I think I'm just going to go and copy the prompt itself from scratch without clicking, because normally if you click that button, that should do the trick. Now, these images are not bad, but they don't really reflect the Lord of the Rings at all. Not like this, where we can see the Eye of Sauron and a ring, which is perfect. So I'm going to click slash imagine, and basically I'm going to paste in a description that Midjourney has given us. And bear in mind that Midjourney gives you a prompt with the size. This is a size, right? 128 by 85, that's a resolution. So waiting for Midjourney to generate an answer, let's go back to ChatGPT. Now this time around as well, it wasn't able to generate a logo, okay? And that's because it says that this is a logo that is going against policy restrictions and blah, blah, blah. Now let's inject it in another way. Let's say generate a logo for a YouTube channel that speaks about Lord of the Rings lore. Now, we're not trying to infringe copyright. By the way, we might as well think of changing the name. So Gandalf's Chronicles, I think it might be better if we choose a different name, such as such as, for example, Middle Earth Mysteries or something like that. Ringside Tales. Okay, so I think I'm going to go with Ringside Tales, since this name might be of problem. Again, ChatGPT has given me the same answer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to refresh the page and try again. If it doesn't work, then it's fine. Okay, so I'm not going to stress it enough, because sometimes ChatGPT can be quite the pain. Okay, and it can particularly decide not to answer you, and sometimes it might just answer you. So I don't understand how it works. They talk about policies and stuff, but sometimes I give it the same prompt and it answers, and sometimes it doesn't answer. But let's go and check the logo given to us by Midjourney, which is not bad at all as well. These ones are not bad, but I'm going to go with the one that was given to me by Leonardo. I think that one is the best by far. So in order to format our logo, by the way, a logo for a brand on YouTube is, by the way, 800 by 800 pixels. That's what they recommend. So if you go to Canva, I would like you to click on create a design. And then right here, what we want to do, we want to click on custom size. And I want you to select 800 by 800 pixels. And then click on create a design. So when you're there, simply upload the image of Leonardo. Now, this is, I think, where it is. If I just drag it, let me just come back to see. Okay, so again, they're saying I'm able to generate images related to the Lord of the Rings, blah, blah, blah. Related to content policy restrictions. Okay, so that's not a problem because Leonardo can do it. So in this case, I'm just going to use the Leonardo one, but you have to understand also that DALL3 is capable of generating some very interesting images. I could have injected it a different way, so I could have just probably I could have said gold eye and flame and something like this. And in that regard, it could generate an image. So if I take this prompt and I remove the keyword, the Lord of the Rings, from it, and if I just click here and paste it, at this time it will work, and I'm sure of that, because now I'm not mentioning the Lord of the Rings. But now let's go back here. So here is where we have our image. So now I'm just going to detach it from the background. I'm going to go and look for circle frame. Circle frame. Now I made a mistake there, so it should be circle frame. And I can take a circle and I can put this inside of it. Now, circle frame is a frame, nonetheless, just a simple frame. This is what I'm looking for. If I place it here, place the image inside. There you go. This is what I'm looking for. And so what I want to do, I want to just make this a little bit bigger, like this, and like this. And now we have our logo. So I'm going to say the Chronicles, or what name did we actually pick? Okay, again, I think today it's really a pain with DALL3, but let me try tomorrow. Like I said, sometimes they can be very, very painful at saying this is against policies and stuff, but sometimes they just answer. Now, Ringside Tails is the name that we chose, so Ringside Tails, and we say logo, and that's it. Now we have our logo. I'm going to download my logo with the transparent background. In your case, you will not be able to do this, but if you want to remove the background off images for free, I'd like you to access this website called remove.bg, because we have to basically close this lecture because it's been too long. Remove.bg is a website that you go to remove the backgrounds off the images, and it's for free. Remember the name, Remove.bg. I'm going to leave it in the link in the resources, and you can remove the backgrounds from it. But in my case, I have my logo, and I can go ahead and click it, and we can look at it in full screen. I think that would be a sight. And then in the next lecture, I'm going to show you how you can design the YouTube banner for the channel. And in the YouTube banner, we need to take into consideration the logo, and we need to put a name, and we will do it in a good style. So here, this is the logo. This is how it looks like. It looks pretty decent to me. See you in the next lecture, in which we're going to proceed by creating the YouTube channel banner.